Welcome to the Bearded Bro Show podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dustin, and I am forever joined by
Trev, which feels very odd right now with what just happened between me and Dustin before we hit record. Don't really know what happened. We just laughed about literally nothing. I don't even know what it was. I'm tired.
Yes.
He's hyper, and it just mixed together in this mess of laughs.
Yes. Also, if you hear my air conditioner in the background, I do apologize for that. Because if we shut it off, we're going to fucking die. Because we have an old house, our bedroom is upstairs, and it holds heat very, very well.
Dustin,
so you might hear
it wasn't even a minute
in the background.
A minute in, and I've already having to click the explicit button. A minute. That was one. That wasn't even a minute, and you're like, we're going to effing die. Like right away. Like, we didn't even get into anything serious, and you're just like, mother effer.
I can't help it, man. Dude, I do it at work too. Like, cuss words are just in my everyday vocabulary.
Oh man!
Like, this guy come up to me at work the other day and was like, "Hey, you know, when you guys getting new stuff?" And I told him, he's like, "You know what you're getting?" I was like, "Oh, I heard it's just a bunch of shit." And he laughed. And like, it just, to me, I was just like, "It's just how I talk," you know? Like,
yeah.
I've had no customer complaints though, so that's good.
Well, at least your store isn't like. I think if we drop anything like that at mine, they kind of, there's like a thing. It's like, I don't know, like, because there's been stuff where like a coworker will like talk to another coworker, and the customer will like hear the F word from a distance and kind of complain or whatever. And like, I'm a Christian too and everything, and I understand that kind of point of view of it, and like whatever, like maybe they were like, oh, I have kids around, and you kind of like, I don't know, it just, I get the idea of like, it's kind of rude, you know, like, I don't know, like, it just depends, like, in my personal opinion, like, obviously don't go around like, mother effer, like, if there's like literally like kids under 10 years old around, because, I mean, it's like, they soak up that stuff like a sponge, and I just don't think it should be.
Oh, we know.
Should be the case, but some people at my store have complained about people like talking to other coworkers, but just loudly while they drop cuss words, and it's like they weren't even necessarily talking to them, but that's kind of crossing the line for me. It's like, I wouldn't even, like, why complain about that? Like, I don't know, whenever he didn't necessarily say it to you, so calm down. Right.
Yeah, Karen. We don't want to hear your shit.
There it is. There it is again.
I'm just going to get it out of the way. Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd, and twat. Okay, there we go.
Just the longest bleep ever right there. Just beep.
And then you just hear fart, turd, and twat, because those aren't bad words.
God. So what is it?
That's actually a song by Blink-182, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Family Reunion.
Yeah, I know what I can't think of how it sounds right now, but yeah.
I'm not going to sing it.
So what is it you had something you wanted to talk about?
Right. So the last time I was on the show, the last couple times has been Ryan, which I really, even when I'm not on the show, guys, I still listen to it. I even listen to it back. Like, if I'm doing something around the house, I literally throw on our podcast and listen to it. It's just like what I like to do. 2 episodes with Ryan were great, so make sure you guys go back and listen to them. But the last time that I was on, I had mentioned that I was sick. Turns out, I have, in fact, tested positive for COVID-19. I'm okay now, though. Like, by the time I got my results back, I was, like, right at the end of it anyway, so it was, like, it didn't even matter at that point. But I, in fact, did have it.
That's crazy.
100% confirmed, yes.
Did you have to get tested again? Because I heard that there's that whole theory going around where you basically to go back to work, you got to, like, get tested again to make sure it went away, or...
Some companies, yes. There are a lot of companies that are requiring 2 negative tests before you go back. You have to test negative twice. Yeah, no,
I mean, I guess it makes sense, kind of like a double check. Like, just, hey, right. You never know if the test is going to be faulty or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how accurate they can make them. I mean, I know, and I actually did watch As me and Ashley put on Dustin's vlog, and we're like, you know what? I haven't seen the part where he sticks those up his nose, and I'm kind of curious because I had never seen anybody do it yet. So I'm like, well, if anybody, I want to see, I want to see Dustin cry about
Thanks.
it. And like, I knew it was gonna be bad. I could tell that you were nervous, and I knew, like, in my head, like, I'm like, oh my god, like I'd be the exact same way right now. Like, I could just tell before going there. You're like, oh my god, like I could just see it on your face. But
I was a nervous, right? Yeah. I didn't know
but
what it
yeah,
was
I
gonna
mean,
be
and
like.
obviously because you know what's coming. But we kind of laughed about it a little bit because Ashley was saying like one long big tear went down your eye afterwards.
Mhm.
And I told her too. I was like, yeah, like I have super watery eyes to anything, like sinuses and everything, yada yada. And like, so I know I'd be freaking sobbing, like not actually crying, just kind of like, once you go up that far with your nose with something or any kind of like anything like that, your eyes are gonna water. But so I know.
And I can tell you from experience too.
Worse. Do what?
Like when it's up there, I can tell you from experience when that tip is up there, like it hits a point where it literally, like, it hurts to open your eyes because like it literally, like, the test itself doesn't hurt, but it's such an odd feeling that like you literally like squeeze your eyes shut. And I mean, like it kicks your ass, man. Like it's rough. And it's like really hard. Like you could tell in the video, like I was really like trying to open my eyes and I couldn't because I was just like it like shot my whole fucking body down. My whole nervous system went down. Like,
yeah, and you're trying to just listen to her orders and stuff. It's like, I don't want to go further. Please don't make me do that.
it sucked.
But yeah, that was very interesting, and the fact that you had to do it outside and everything, obviously because of Corona itself. Thank you so much, world, right now. But I forgot where I was going with that. But I just remember. Okay, I mentioned talking about watching the video. But yeah, I didn't. I guess the point I was trying to make is I didn't know if he had to do it again. But
thank God.
Thank Lordy.
And the good thing is too is my job is they're really working with me, because obviously I had it. I was the only one in there to get it, so like it was kind of nerve-wracking to go back and not know how they were going to treat me. You know, like if I was gonna be like fucking exiled off the island or what. Like I didn't know. And I mean, everybody there was just like very welcoming. And, you know, like every day I go back to like, how are you feeling? You know, is everything okay? Everybody at home okay? Like they like really worried, and they've actually been like shortening my, like, literally yesterday I worked 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Tomorrow I work 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Like they've actually like shortened my hours so like I don't have as much contact with people right now, you know?
Right.
So it's actually been, it's been very nice. Like I'm still working a lot, but you know, like I'm working shorter shifts, but I told him, I was like, you know, I just need to get like back into the swing of things. And they're like very, very cool about it. So that it's been very nice.
Right. And yeah, I mean, you seem like your energy's back and stuff, and seems like everything's smoothed out.
The thing is too, is like, you know, the media, like, portrays this virus to be very, like, severe. Which, for some people, yes. You know, like, if you're older and you have health issues, it's going to affect you differently than what it's going to affect somebody like me. You know, like, everybody is going to experience it differently in some way. But it was never, like, a thing that was, like... It wasn't like a sickness where I was bedridden or like stuck in the house with no energy and no motivation. Like I could go and just have normal days and go do stuff and be active and go outside. Like I played disc golf a couple times with it, and like it never affected me in that way. Like the only thing was I couldn't taste or smell anything, which that was honestly the worst part of it. I only had one day where it was absolutely horrendous, like with body aches, and I physically like could not get up and do anything. Like I couldn't do something for more than 5 minutes. I had to sit down because it felt like somebody was ripping me apart. at
Yeah.
my joints. Like, it was terrible. But I only had 1 day of that.
Right. Have you seen, are you subscribed or ever actually seen Tanner Fox?
I used to watch him, and then he turned into a douchebag. But the blonde-haired scooter kid.
He made a video a few days ago that he was positive, and I was like, oh wow. And then like, I don't know, he filmed it, of course, and like he had to call them though. Now what shocked me about it, honestly, like I don't know if that's faked or not, because I'm not gonna assume, I'm not just gonna sit and assume that it is fake, but because it's a no joke thing, but hopefully he's not the type of person that would do that for views or anything, but
Right.
he like vlogged it of him calling, and he apparently had like, I don't know if like California does things doing things differently, like quicker or something, but he like literally got tested that morning. He called back like that afternoon and was vlogging it and was like checking in on the results. It's like, it's all I've heard is that it's supposed to take forever, and it even took Dustin like a really long time to get his results.
It took them 8 days.
Like,
But
and literally, and Tanner over here is like calling them back, and it sounded like a legit phone call. He had it on speaker. Like the woman was just like, eventually he's like, yeah, blah blah blah, like it's positive and everything. And he was like, oh, and it's a big sigh, and he was super devastated. And then he called his mom back. He called his mom back, said it was positive. I don't know. Like, I'm just really shocked with how quick he was able to get the results. I don't know.
but like, see, if you go to like an urgent care or a hospital and get tested, you're gonna get them back like that day.
Yeah, I mean, and that could be the case, but that's the thing, is like, I don't know all the rules for this, so it's just like,
Yeah,
I
I think
but yeah, it
I
was
really
just
think
super
what
interesting.
my thing was is, first of all, my test was free. Now, if you go anywhere else, these tests are like $250 to $300. Like, they're expensive as fuck to get done. And I had a free test. So like, if you think about it this way, testing's free, and it's done through this lab that is available all over the United States. And every state has these drive-through clinics that you can go through like I did. When testing is free, people are going to get tested just because, like, out of straight paranoia. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's honestly kind of what delayed mine. No, like a kid I work with, his brother tested positive for it. So the kid I work with went and got tested just to make sure. And he literally went one day, had his results back later that day because he went to an urgent care, and they made him take a couple days off work just to like be sure. But other than that, like, he got his back instantly. I just think it was like, mine was a free test, so that's kind of to be expected when everybody and their mother is going to get tested, you know?
Right.
But yeah, like,
it's insane. It's definitely insane right now. But
yeah.
and I don't know. There's like, things are reopening. Some things are still closing. Some, like, there's like movies that are still being delayed because they keep thinking this will be over by August, right? And it's like not really an end in sight. And then they're just gonna push it back a month. And it's a weird time.
I 100% wholeheartedly believe that my state needs to be shut down again. Sorry if you guys hear that. My daughter decides to come into the room blaring YouTube on her phone, so apologize. But it's just like, because all these experts are saying too, like, if the state shut down and the businesses that are open, if people just wear masks, literally within 8 to 10 weeks, this shit could all go away and we could have a summer. But I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. I hate wearing masks. I think it's stupid. I think it's inconvenient. You know, I want to have a normal summer, but I can't because other people don't want to fucking abide by the rules. Like, if you just listen and just suck it up and deal with it, then this could all just go away. You know? But it's just, the thing is, some people are just so stupid that it's not going to stop.
Masks
This
aren't
is going
that
to
bad
go
at all.
on.
Like, you can even get the comfortable ones. I have to wear them. It's mandatory that I wear them at work. I bought one of those cool, like, super cool colored, like, it's got, like, purple, blue, and I think some green in there. Like, kind of looks like the Starry Night painting, except it's not the painting, but it's one of those bandanas that you slip over and you put it on your face. Like, it's nice and it's cool, like, and it's just, I don't see it as like a big thing. You know what I mean? It's just like it's just an extra thing that I got to put on. But oh well, like there's some different things with wearing masks and how used to them we've got. Where it's like there's certain things that are almost beneficial. Like, I'm not saying that wearing a mask is, like, the new way we should all live and it should be, like, a for now on thing. I'll be happy to get rid of them just like anybody else. But, like, I don't know. I was talking to Ashley about it, and she was like, sometimes I feel like I can't breathe or whatever. I was like, babe, just literally open your mouth and breathe. No one can see that your mouth is dropped. Like, it's not. Like, they can't. Like, it's a mask. They can't literally tell anything. Right. There's a lot of psychological stuff you can dive into about, like, different things you can get away with while wearing a mask, and that's like, a whole other thing. Like, my friend was telling me, like, yeah, you can like mouth "F you" and get away with it at work and stuff, and I was just like, and obviously, you know, I'm not doing that, but this friend of mine is, and it's just like it's funny because that's her personality or whatever, and like there's just so many things, you know. It's almost like it's a weird thing. It's almost like sometimes I even feel like when I'm helping a customer, it's almost like my confidence can go up. Like whenever your face is hidden, you have a lot more power. I don't care what anybody says, but it is different. It's like wearing a Halloween costume where you just suddenly are like, well, no one knows what how I look or anything, or can't see my face, can't see my expression really. Only thing that people are able to read right now are eyes. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
and they tell us at work, their thing is like, smile with your eyes.
yeah, I try to raise my cheeks and stuff and just kind of look like I'm like, yeah, but then, you know, maybe inside I'm like, whatever. Like, but, you know, and taking pictures and stuff, like me and Ashley took a selfie with our masks not long ago, and like I was laughing really hard because she's still smiling like she always does in pictures. I know she is because I can tell with her eyes. And I'm just like, babe, you don't actually have to, like, you could literally just fake it and it like looks like you're smiling, like. And I'm just sitting there like normal, like, because they can't see. And what does it matter? I don't know. It's totally different. It's a weird thing. I've just gotten so used to it that I'm just fine. Like, I'm cool with it. Like, I'm
it's like this is life now. You know, it's like the new normal.
Obviously,
like,
I don't want to wear one of those stupid, like, blue ones with, like, the straps, the regular ones that my store was given to us when it first happened. But I just learned to get on Amazon. I bought me and my buddy Thomas a couple of those bandana ones. He got, like, a cool American flag one. I got the other one. And I don't know. It's just, like, I'm just trying to stay optimistic about it, and like it's like a chance for a form of creativity, you know. And like a lot of people are wearing these really awesome masks, and it's just neat, you know. But it's just like, obviously, I don't want Corona to be here. I don't want it to be a thing, but it's just having to deal with the card that we're dealt with, and I feel like people just need to like shake off that whole like, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not coming back to the store again if I have to wear a mask. Like, one of my bosses has told me, literally, like, he believes specifically, I'm not going to say his name, but he said specifically, he does not believe that it is going to protect you from coronavirus. Like, this is my boss saying this. Yeah. He is saying, like, I do not believe. Like he said, in my personal opinion, because he was listing all this stuff off of a sheet of paper, because somebody at the store tested positive, and he wanted to warn everybody, like, okay, we sanitized that whole area he worked in, and blah blah blah, and he was gone for a while, so he just wanted to warn everybody, like, that did happen, and he was doing all the normal, like, you know, wash your hands, all that stuff, and he was like, but to tell you the truth, in my personal opinion, these masks, in my opinion, are not going to protect you at all from this virus. But
you're gonna fucking get it.
It will keep the other person safe, and that's what matters.
I mean, I wear a mask at work, and that's where I got it. Wearing the mask, it doesn't. No, they don't protect you. But, you know,
like if you cough or you sneeze or whatever, it's in your own mask. It's not, you're not going to cough or sneeze on anybody else. And I think that's the thing that people get mixed up is like, it ain't going to protect us anyway. So why do, it's like, But you gotta think about other people. People are being so selfish and just about themselves. It's like, think of, and I don't know, half these people saying this probably have kids and probably have a wife and whatever, and they're all selfish about it. It's like, well, if you want to protect your kids and all this, I would just deal with it. Like, you're not forced to wear stupid masks. Like, go buy, like, a cheap mask you like. That's comfortable. That's what I did, and I'm just dealing with it. I don't know. That's my opinion really on it, but is this...
That's the thing. It's not going to go away until the idiots stop being idiots and say, just fucking conform, okay? I know it sucks. Just don't be stupid. Seriously, don't be stupid.
Right.
Like I said, I don't like wearing masks as much as the next one. But I don't have a fucking choice. Like, I've accepted it. Like, okay, this is how it has to be. Like, it's... I don't know. It's crazy. I never thought that in a million years or during my existence that I would ever experience anything like this. Like, this shit, like, just came out of fucking left field, too. Like, it's not... It's just out of nowhere.
I remember, like, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast once. I watched... I've been subscribed to this guy. Shout out to J Rule. For a while, and he's been kind of a friend, like, on the channel. Like, I've seen him around on the channel. Like, he's commented pretty much for like year 2 of my channel or something like that. Like, really, really early on. And his channel is like skyrocketed because he does everything. Like, he'll put out a food review, and then he'll put out like tech reviews, like unboxings of just the most random thing, like comics, or just like, his channel is so, like, I think it does so well because he's so big on variety.
Right, it caters to a lot of people.
But he had footage that he claimed is like, I forgot where it was. Some city, some foreign, like, not the U.S.
Wuhan, China?
It honestly, it probably was. It's most likely somewhere in China, but wherever, yeah. Wherever it was, like, coming from and starting, and I don't want to, like, try to name something and be wrong, so I'm not going to name it, but pretty sure it's China. But anyway, but some city where it had spread intensely, like a really big city, and, like, he had footage of it, and he put it on YouTube. Like, coronavirus is spreading in, let's just say, China right now, and he had footage, but it was a footage from a friend that lives there. And, like, it was, like, off of a skyscraper, and the guy that filmed it just filmed, like, the streets just being empty, and, like, the city looked just dead. The city was, like, so, and then people were coming, and so this is literally people just staying home and not leaving, and I didn't think of anything of it at the time, and this is way before it hit the U.S., and I was just like, maybe that won't come over here, or something like that, and then when it happened, I was like, oh my god, I actually had sort of a warning. It's, like, weird how I kind of knew about Corona before a lot of people caught on, at least. But you know what I mean? Like, you don't really think about those kind of things all the time. Like, something will hit the news, and sometimes you just brush it off as just random news like you see every day. And it was just a video, of, like, somewhere else that doesn't involve me. So, obviously, my selfish self was just like, that doesn't affect me, so... so I'm not going to worry about it. And then all of a sudden, coronavirus, and, like, I remember when I first read the first article that was like, coronavirus cases are starting in the U.S. now, and I was just like, oh god, here we go, the whole U.S. is about to get it, and then we basically did. I was like,
I remember when we heard about it. Like, obviously it was a big thing, it was a big deal in China, everybody's freaking out, and then then it was like, oh, Canada, and we're like,
toilet paper,
Canada.
Remember that was crazy.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, well, it's Canada, fuck Canada, like, whatever. And then I don't actually mean like fuck Canada, like, Canada's cool, but like, there's being in the US, that's our mentality. And then, like, I remember hearing it was like the first cases were in like Arizona or something crazy. And we're like, oh, yeah, whatever. Like, we're all the way on the East Coast. Fuck you, Arizona. Haha, you losers. And then all of a sudden, it's like New York, Ohio, West Virginia. It's like everywhere surrounding PA. And we're just like, oh, fuck. Like, this is it. This is it. It's
yeah,
on.
it really, like, whenever it first happened, it really it feels like, oh my god, I am literally living in a time where a plague is going to hit and we're all going to die. Like, it literally is like, I was suddenly thinking about, like, different scriptures and, like, in the Bible and stuff where that happened. And I'm just like, wow,
And like
we are.
when it hit the U.S.,
Here's
like, it
the
stayed
end
in
of the
China
world right here, basically.
It stayed in China for a hot minute, and then it
Yeah.
hit the U.S. and it was fucking on, baby. Because we're a bunch of alcoholics and potheads, and that was poof. That was it. Like,
Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, it just... And I don't even know what really... I guess just people flying everywhere, back and forth, without any rules yet, and then it's kind of too late.
I hate a bat. And spread shit all around China. Let me get on a plane and fly to fucking the United States. I swear, man.
And the freaking bat thing is just weirds me out. I'm just like, why? Like I almost can't even believe it, of like the how it started, like, theory or whatever. I don't know if it's like proven fact or not, but bats, it's so random.
It's disgusting. Yeah. The thing is too, is if the U.S. shuts down again, fucking shut down airports, shut down train stations, like, shut down public transportation, because that is how that shit continues to fucking spread.
It's because the world doesn't want to accept the idea of, like, all of their plans halting for a period of time. But if it happened, then it would go away.
It will go away so fast.
It would go away a lot faster than it already has.
It would go away so fast that it wouldn't even affect these big companies in a negative way. It wouldn't at all.
I had a conversation with Brian on the phone for like 2 hours straight. And we talked till like whatever, 1 a.m, like about whenever.
About what color underwear they were wearing.
No. But totally irrelevant and super random. But when Texas was announced to be like the first state to open back, I'm like, that's too early, bro. It's just like, and he was excited about it, and I was too, like, yes. Because me and his thing is to, like, go and eat at a restaurant when we hang out. Like, first thing we do is take care of eating. Like, it's fun. We enjoy that. Just having a chat, eating good food, not really holding back. Like, just splurge on, like, a good place. And so we've always enjoyed that. So we got excited about the idea, like, well, Arkansas, at some point. Like, that was when, like, all the restaurants in my area are just closed. That was, like, right in the middle of everything. And then I heard Texas to be the first state to like reopen, and I told him, this is a test. I guarantee it. It's a test to see how it goes. I don't know why really it's Texas first, but I guess because it's this massive state, they want to see how it goes. I don't know. I have no idea. But it was exciting, but I also told him, because we had kind of like different perspectives on it. He agreed with me that, like, it's too early. But let's just see how it goes. Let's remain optimistic. And I get his approach on that, but I really just felt strongly like this is too early. Like, we're literally right in the middle of this pandemic. Why would they start reopening things? And then, like, soon after, we've heard, like, another outbreak. It just keeps happening. And it's just like, bro, freaking close everything. And it'll just go away. Like, and then we can go back to normal lives. But people are so eager, and I am too, to get back to normal lives because there's stuff to do. Like, I know people that are artists, like my buddy Aaron Dwyer. Like, he literally has, like, conventions and stuff he could be, like, selling his stuff at and stuff he can't go to because it's closed. But it's just like, we got to deal with what we deal with, but that's not everyone's opinion, and that's what sucks. There's people that are literally like, screw this, like, that video of people at, like, the beach or whatever that are like, it is what it is, if I die, I die, if I get it, like, wow. There are literally people like that. It's just...
Yeah.
It's crazy, with no common sense. Just let it end. Let it go away, and then we can go back to normal. But no.
The thing is this world is full of stupid fucking people, man, and it's just how it is. It's just how it is. I mean, there's nothing. Bitching about it on our podcast aren't going to make the stupid people be any smarter.
Listen to the podcast. Listen to the podcast so you can get common sense.
Yeah.
We will teach you the ways of common sense. Because honestly, me and Dustin are like well-minded people. Like, we know what common sense is, and it's like, I don't know. People just, I get it. People want to do their own thing or whatever, but like, I don't know. If this podcast somehow persuades anybody to have even a slight open-mindedness of different way of thinking, please allow that. Because a lot of people just are not open-minded enough, and that's one big problem in general. And that's a whole other episode, but it's just, yeah, it's crazy.
All right. So I have something else I kind of want to have a discussion with Trav about here. Probably wrap up the last half hour of the podcast already. I just want to mention... Trav and I do listen to other podcasts. I know, heartbreaking. But I came across this podcast on YouTube one night, and what really caught my eye was because there's a YouTuber I watch by the name of Joe Santagato, and he does like stand-up comedy type of videos, but it's like his comedy's it's subjective. Like, it's not for everybody, you know. Like, some people may not like the stuff he says, but it's just him. You know, like him being him. And I always found him very funny. And he has a podcast called The Basement Yard, which, again, is just like him and his friends. It's like how Trav and I talk. And, like, they literally had a whole podcast where he was supposed to talk about buying furniture for his new apartment, but instead for, like, 45 minutes they talked about Rihanna's nipples. I don't know. But, like, that's just the type... Trav's just like, okay. Like, but that's just, like, the type of person he is. And... I came across this podcast on YouTube called Other People's Lives, and I saw him in the thumbnail. And I was like, oh, like, that's kind of like an odd name, but he's in it, so is it just like an episode with him? But then I read the title, and this may, like, trigger some people, but I'm just going to be honest, this is what the whole podcast was about. And it was like him and this guy, Joe Santagato and this guy, I would assume his friend, and they were talking about, they were interviewing this girl who, growing up, had no idea that she was involved in a child pornography ring in her family.
Wow.
And then I found another one about they interviewed this girl, and she knew all this stuff about how her dad killed her sister. And, like, and I started, like, going through these, and, like, you know, like, I'm listening to these people talk, and I just got real fascinated by it. And it just kind of made me think of discussions I've had with people, you know, like in heated arguments with people as well, about how, you know, like if I call somebody out for being a shitty person, which I have before, a certain individual, I'm not going to mention names, but I called this individual out for being a very, like, shitty, manipulative, lying piece of crap person. And her response to me when I call her out on that is, well, it's because of what I went through in my past. And it just... that is like the most frustrating response somebody can give you when you call somebody out for being a shitty person. Oh, it's because of what happened in my past. And it just makes me think, like, and I want to bring up the discussion of how your past does not define who you are as a person. And I just kind of want to know your take on that. Like, and just some examples, like, you can have gone through some serious shit in life, but, like, if you're an adult and you broke away from that and you're independent, because of what happened to you in your past is no excuse to treat people like shit or put somebody down. You can be... You could have been... You could have had the picture perfect life growing up as a child. Family got you whatever you wanted. Happy family. Parents never fought. Good, healthy, strong relationship. And you could be the biggest piece of shit in the entire world. You know, and I've noticed, too, like, a lot of my friends are people that have had a rough past or that grew up without a whole lot and are, like, some of the nicest, most genuine people I ever met. So, like, again, your past does not define who you are as a person. I want to know your take on that, Trav.
Well, kind of on the spot a little bit because I don't really know how to really, or where I really want to go with it. I mean, you're right. I'll just say that right away. You're correct on, like, some people just have that way about them where, like, you have sometimes, like, I'll just call them, quote unquote, the rich boys or rich girls that are, like, turned out that way, had a great life, had money, had everything they wanted, had food in their stomach and everything, and then they still are snobby and, like, they act like that, blah, can't even speak, act blah, blah. They act like that because they have money and they have whatever, and, like, Um, it depends on the person. Everybody's different. Everybody kind of grew up a different way, and then like it just, I don't know. I think it takes this mindset, like, because I know that I personally have had this mindset since like being a teenager, where like kind of teenage years onto like adulthood is really where you kind of, there's a certain point, and it's different. It's a different time for everybody, I do believe, where like there's a point where you kind of decide who you want to be. Is maybe not necessarily decide that day I want to be this person. You start acting this way on this day. Sometimes it just takes time to mold that and try to become like what you want to be. Without going too far. Some people take it too far. I've seen some people try that and they're just like, it's just not myself. Like, and some people are literally stuck in the mindset like, I'm just a crappy person and I just can't make myself change even though I want to. And my whole argument against that is like, the power of wanting to is exactly what you should be using, though. You should use that want and just make it happen no matter what, you know? And like, cuz you can change, and yeah, your past doesn't make who you are. Like, I know that some people just have been through like the worst things, especially like a lot of young women and stuff too in this world, and like I know I've heard there are countless stories about all that stuff. And it's like to me how it is like you rather pick the light side or you pick the dark side. And I'm not trying to get Star Wars-y, but it literally is like that. Like, I know that you can kind of dabble in the middle. You can be whatever. You can be good person, bad person. And sometimes some people are like right in the middle. But really what I've seen is just like rather leaning way more towards a good person or leaning way more towards just got that darkness. Or like you're letting your past define who you are. And I think like, and going back to what I was saying, like teenage years to early adulthood is there's just this thing that happens in your mind. And it happened for me where like, and I've always been a decent person. Like, I'm not going to say like I was a bad kid back in the day or whatever, but you know how you are. When you're a kid, you're just different. You're learning who you are at some point, and it's got to happen.
I wish I knew what YouTuber you were talking about. Actually, just drop a name.
I'll say it after the episode, and you'll be like, "Oh, you're right," you know. But I'm trying to just figure out how I'm wording this here, because it is a big subject and it's a lot. Like I said, it feels like there's so much that goes into it, and obviously I don't have all the education for any of this. I've always wanted to though. I've always wanted to be like, you know, a therapist or a what's it called, psychiatrist, just to kind of like, I would love to just help people in that way, but also learn like more about the human mind, and just like, because there's so many different shades of color with it. Like there's so much, like everyone's different, everyone has a different past, so even though sometimes they can be pretty parallel and seem similar to other people, but you know, not everyone's experiences is like exactly the same, right. Even though they can go through similar situations. But I think just certain people, and I don't know if it's some kind of mental disorder or whatever, but some people just they just didn't hit that moment where they had think in their brain, like, I need to grow up.
No, and those are the people that are going to have miserable lives, because you can only, you know, put people down for so long before they decide to say, you know what, like, fuck this, man. Fuck you. Like, I'm not, I'm not going to be a part of this. And I've actually had to, like, lose friendships over stuff like that because it's just, I've just been around so many toxic people that I've tried to, like, help and, like, try to convince and be like, hey, look, like, you don't need to be this way. And it never gets through. You can't make
them change.
Right, and you have to turn and walk away from it.
And I've said that to friends that are like that, where I'm like, I can't make you do it. You're going, like, everything that, and this is to anybody listening, any change you want to make has to literally be yourself. Will Smith said it perfectly. I said this to my my buddy Thomas recently. I won't say why, but there's been some stuff going on with him and stuff. But he's one of my best friends now, and we work together. But I sent him this quote because I saw that, like, this quote kind of just resurfaced, basically. I've seen Will Smith say this, but it was just, like, kind of a meme style, but it was, I don't know, it was just, like, it was Will Smith and his wife standing together, like, kissing or something on a beach or whatever, and it says, I am not responsible for her happiness. Like, there's something really, really beautiful about that I 100% agree with. Some people literally rely on other people for happiness. They rely on... And I understand. Some people just can make you feel good. Like, you get with that, girl, or if you're a girl and you get with the guy that you just are obsessed with, and they just make your life better. You might even feel like, my depression just went away because I'm in this person's life, and that's a beautiful thing. But you have to figure out how to be happy by yourself. Like, some people literally have that mindset where, like, they can't even, like, sit and play a game or watch a movie just by themselves in their own way, just because they just need somebody there. And I look at that, and I've seen people like that, and I even have friends that are like that, and I look at their lives, and, like, I feel sad. Like, I shouldn't, be all judgy or anything, but you know what I mean. Like, when you're just trying to help people, and you think about your friends, you want your friends and family and everyone to be doing okay. That's just at the end of the day, you want people to do okay, but that's just not always the case. Like, it's really rare if everyone's, like, really, really doing well and successful and all that. But I've looked at my friends' lives before and just been like, man, like, if they would just learn that their happiness is up to themselves, because at the end of the day, guys, like, it's all in our own mind. Like, when you're living this life, you're seeing through your eyes, smelling, tasting, feeling, like, it's all up to you. Like, you're inside your own head. Nobody can necessarily they can talk to you about it. You can let all your pain out if you wish to talk to somebody or whatever. But at the end of the day, your brain is still your brain, and, like, your own thoughts are your own thoughts. Like, we all live our lives separately, but together.
Right. And there's something else too.
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about, and I just thought of this as you were talking, like, about helping people. One of my streamer friends, his name is Jake Master 101 on Twitch. We had a discussion in his stream the other day about, like, helping people. How you see these comments, and you see, like, all these people, like, reaching out to these YouTubers, like, oh, like, you saved my life, and you stopped me from wanting to take my life, and you see things like that. And I've even had people come in my streams and say, like, hey, look, man, like, I'm really depressed, like, I need someone to talk to, and this is my take on this. I will never, shoo anybody away who is feeling down and who is feeling out, and they need someone to talk to. But I am not a qualified professional when it comes to mental illnesses and helping people with mental illnesses. If you want to come to me and you want to vent, and you just, like, you had a shitty day and you just want to let it out, let it out. Whenever you start telling me things like, oh, like, I'm really thinking about just taking my life tonight, like, I'm done with it, I'm so done with it, like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you
it
not
comes
to.
off as like beggy, like you're gonna change that for me. You know what I
Right,
mean?
and I've actually like have told people like, look, don't do it. You know that's not the right thing. But if you honestly like truly deeply feel that that is the only way out, you need to seek a healthcare professional, because I am not somebody that is qualified to take your problems and put them on me and try to like flip the script for you. I can't do that. And I've actually had people get pissed off, but you know, I've also had some, like a lot of people reach out and get help. And you know, he brought that up because he had somebody that had like told him that, and he was like, listen, like, I care for you. You know, I will continue to provide free entertainment for you, but you need to like seek help. I am not a therapist. I am not a counselor. You can come in here, you can vent, you know, whatever it may be, but I am not somebody that can get you help, you know.
Yeah, and you gotta also be honest with them. Like I'm also not here to like. I'm not gonna give you that kind of like. If we're being honest, some of them just want attention, and it I understand it. It can seem a certain way, and it sounds bad when you say like, "Oh, you just want attention." You're not really. I'm not, and I would never tell somebody like you're not actually feeling how you're feeling. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that, but I can kind of sense the difference between something really real and like just kind of that like I have no life, I'm sad, I'm gonna come to your stream or come to your videos or whatever to feel better, and just that whole relying only on you thing is really fake. Like it's it comes across, it irritates me. I don't like it just because it's like you have to have and some people say I have nobody, and I just don't. I never can take that and be like, yeah, that kid, he only has my stream or my videos or whatever it is or my podcast to rely on. There are countless entertainers. There's also your family that maybe you're not talking to or something.
That's exactly it. I think a lot of people that feel that way don't say anything to their family or their friends because they're scared, which I get. And I'm glad, you know, if people can come to my channel and find like an escape from their bad day, or, you know, like if I have like if I have the content that people like look forward to, like, oh, like I can't wait till he uploads because like that actually like generally makes me happy watching or listening to his videos. I get that. And I had a very real experience with somebody that was suicidal, and I didn't know. And that person was Rancher, and Rancher is one of my like really good friends. You know, like he's been on videos, like we have a whole series together, like we talk every day. And one day, like I was just on Xbox, I invited this kid to my party, we started talking, we started building. He seemed perfectly fine, perfectly normal, like, you know, like he was like real happy to talk to me, but he never told me anything. I never knew what was going on. I never knew how he was feeling. Literally, probably like 6 months later, he messaged me one day. He's like on Snapchat. He's like, "Hey man, can I talk to you about something? Can you get on?" And I was like, yeah, what's up? So I get on Xbox, and he goes, "Remember that night you invited me to the party for the first time and we started talking?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "I want to thank you for that." And I was like, "Oh man, you're welcome. Like, what? Like, is everything okay?" And he's like, "You know, that night I was gonna kill myself." He's like, "I had a note written for my family and everything." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, you literally talked to me." He was like, "I was at an all-time low." And I had no idea. Because when I talked to him that night, I would have never known. Yeah, it's always the people
you never know, or because
right.
Yeah, definitely Rancher is the complete opposite of what I thought would be like, you know, and it's always like that every time, and I've learned that over time so well that like it's the people that act so happy and everything that are most likely just not okay, and it sucks because it's harder for people to know, and you don't want to just ask a happy person, "Hey, you depressed? You thinking about killing yourself?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to just jump out there because, you know, you don't want to offend anybody, because what if they're not having those thoughts? But it is kind of concerning when it's like, oh my god, like people like mask it so well, and then sometimes they're just gone, and it's just like, man.
The thing was, like, that the first time I talked to him, like, he wasn't like overly happy or like overzealous. Like, he was just very like normal. And like it when he told me that, like we got off Xbox, like bro, I was like, what? Like I would have never known, you know. And he was just like, he was so straight up about it, and I was like, I like holy shit. Like
it's a learning experience. It's definitely like,
because like I said, like we just talked about, like people do come in and they're like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself tonight if you don't talk to me, and it's like, that's not how this works. Like I'm sorry, but like you know, it's just like it. If you are, we should probably start wrapping it up, I'd imagine. And actually,
I'm
that just
like, Rancher's okay now.
oh my God, I talk to him every day. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he has good days, he has his bad days, but like,
we love you, Rancher.
it's never like that. Yeah, we love Rancher to death, and we should probably start wrapping it up here. It is like 12:30 where I am.
You got a recommendation? Because I don't.
I do, and it actually, like, I actually had a different recommendation until like we started talking about this last little bit here. But if you are somebody, and you know, you try to reach out to bigger YouTubers and they don't respond, you know, or you feel like you're being ignored by them, understand that there are hundreds upon thousands, even sometimes, of people trying to interact with them. As people grow on YouTube, it is a lot harder to keep up with comments, and that's like, you know, I used to be able to message people back on Xbox. I can't do that anymore.
Oh, people are really hitting you that hard or that much? That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, and people were like, you don't talk to me.
Because you have grown for the big time for the last few years, so I mean, yeah, I can see how that would be a thing.
And that's why I tell people, if you want to get in contact with me and you want to talk to me directly, one, my live streams, because I read all my comments, all my chat. Two, follow me on Twitter, because that is literally the best place. That is the one place that is going to be easier for me to respond to you. That is my social media of choice for my YouTube channel. I'm always posting on there. I'm always answering DMs on there. That is the best place to reach out to me, to talk to me. Right. And into my recommendation, this continuing on with what I'm saying. If you are somebody that is trying to get attention from a YouTuber, do not pull the suicide card. Do not. Because that is literally the most fucked up and low thing you can do to try to get attention.
Yeah, because there's a difference between you and the person that really actually does feel that way, and don't be fake. Just don't be fake about it.
Don't. Let my story about Rancher be an example. Don't come in here and be like, you know, if you want to comment on my videos, be like, oh, like, I'm so happy you uploaded today. You know, like, hey, I had a real bad day at work, or I had a real bad day in school, or I had a real bad day dealing with this person. You know, like, I just kind of want to unwind and kind of, like, relax a little bit and watch your videos or watch your streams or whatever it may be. That's okay. But if you're going to come into my streams and be like, I'm really depressed, if you don't talk to me, I'm going to kill myself, you know, everybody, do not be that person. I will not turn you away. You can vent, but I promise you, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear either. So just don't be that person.
Right.
Because you got to think, at the end of the day, we're humans too, and when you come in with that bullshit and you start dumping that on us, that does not make our days any easier. You know, like that's a whole nother problem that we have to face. Do not be that person. That's all I ask. That's my recommendation. Also, wear a fucking mask.
Second recommendation. I would just say basically what I said is it all starts with you. Like, your own mind. Do not, like, it's okay to rely on other people, like, for certain things, and, like, it's okay to have relationships with people and friendships, but you've got to learn, if you're having trouble with this, like, you have to learn to create your own happiness. Like, it's just something that I've learned over time and that I feel like really can help other people, like, and I'm also an introvert. So that also is like, I have to make my own happiness because I cannot be extroverted. Like I am super, like, I need my own time to myself. Like, me and Ashley have agreed, like, we also like our time to ourselves, like, separately.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, and I think there's nothing wrong with that, because that really can keep a relationship really sane. Like, a lot easier. I just sometimes need my own thoughts, you know. And I know that that's sometimes it's a flaw because sometimes I really, really want to be alone, and it's like intense levels, and I'm just like, yeah, but so I try to do a balance of both. Like, I love having friends and I love having Ashley around, but sometimes I just need to, like, a day of just breathing and just being in my own headspace and being in my own space. But aside from that, I think it goes for anybody, extrovert, introvert. Like, you have to just learn to create your own happiness. Like, it's not all about other people, and like, if you start relying on other people and everything, and you're like, oh, I want to die just because like no one loves me anymore or whatever, it's like a lot of people just drive people off because you're just being too like needy, and it just
and no one can love you until you love yourself.
Exactly.
Self-love
like,
is
learn
the
to
most
love
important
yourself,
thing.
learn to be in your own headspace. Sometimes, guys, you just need a break. Like, one day of just like, you can go places and stuff, but just like, I don't know how to explain it, but just like even 5 minutes of just sitting in silence with your own thoughts. And I know that some people have the opposite problem where they sit in silence for too long and it's like start thinking things and everything, but there has to be a change there. There has to be a mature mindset to say, I'm not gonna just like rely on everyone else for my own happiness, because at the end of the day, you're you, and you're the only one inside your own head, and you need to be able to learn to fix yourself before there's a problem, or after there is a problem, and then you fix it yourself. It's not all about other people. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap that up before I keep going on about that. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. You can email us. That's in the description as always on Anchor and Spotify, freaking YouTube, freaking
iTunes,
everywhere, and all that jazz. It's all there. It's all listed. And yeah, tweet at us. We like to talk to people. We have got no tweets from anybody. Send tweets. We're like 50 something. We're almost 50 subscribers. We got no tweets. Like, come on, just talk to us. We're cool.
Sometimes.
And we'll be talking to you guys next time.
See ya.